And we'll grab.
What you have to realize is the so-called natives and Hispanics are Israelites too. You see, they were put into slavery in 1492. So how you explain that? That kills your 400-year doctrine because it says all the Israelites will be brought up out of captivity. And that includes the so-called Native Americans and Hispanics too, man. And they went into slavery when Cristobal Colon came over here in 1492.
And the calendar we have ain't right because the original calendar was based off the moon.
God.
That's why a lot of calendars even have the
We're
moon
under the
on it.
Gregorian calendar right now.
And
bullshit from the Romans.
And so we don't even know what year it is.
You know,
400 years could be next year, the year after, the year after that.
You know what
already
moon
passed.
means?
So am I wrong? Was King James a homosexual and a pedophile?
No, he was not, man.
No, King
Okay.
James was a so-called Negro. All right, that's why when you read in the prologue in the beginning of these scriptures,
The King
he
James
tells you he
version?
was an Israelite.
You guys know
King
that
James
there's
16:11.
actually tons of so-called Negroes in Europe.
Yeah, exactly.
the Dark
brother.
Ages.
Hey, pull up the pictures of King James. King
Yeah.
James and his
Yeah,
son.
that's
King
right.
James' son. King James' son was the last so-called Negro to reign in England. And then what did you have come up after them? Those Edomites that are in rulership now. Hey, you take care, man. Look up GMS Denver on YouTube. That's our channel. We usually live stream.
Cool. I'll do that.
Yep.
I ask you guys a question about this one.
Yeah.
I see the Mormon prophets down there.
There's no such thing as a Mormon prophet.
Well, they're down there.
So are you a Mormon?
No.
Okay, because I got the Book of Mormon right here, and it clearly
I don't know. I was
goes
just curious
against
about your
goes against
stance
what
on
the-
them.
what
That's
the
all.
words in the scripture say.
Well, the prophets are Israelites, so there is no Mormon prophet.
The self-proclaimed Mormon prophets are on here. I was just curious about your stance on
Like
them.
Brigham
that's all.
Young and what's his face, Joseph Smith and all them.
Yeah.
They're Edomites,
They're Edomites.
creating their own worship because they need to deceive to keep the game going.
That's all I was wondering.
Here's a
and-
picture of King
and-
James,
And going back
The
to grab
original
John
King.
7
okay.
and 24.
looking like he looks like a so-called Negro.
Yeah.
Because this ain't a thing of color, man.
So there's a reason why.
even though that's why we say
There's a reason why
so-called,
there's a
because you
snare
go
on
do
his
your
neck.
ancestry,
Yeah,
I
if
go
you
do
look
my
at
ancestry, I'll
the
get all
history
kind of
of
different shit.
It happened after.
But going back to Numbers
So after
1:18,
he
your seed
translated
goes
the
forth to your
Bible,
father.
after trying to bring forth his people
Right?
from fighting each other, bring them together.
This
unite
is
them.
out of John 7 and 24.
Then they said, they started slandering his name.
He's an Edomite, I guess.
No, you saw that other dude drop off his Bible. Like, the same form.
He let his dog walk all over.
No, because the dog knows. The dog's like, hey, I need a beard. These dogs have more spirit than these Edomites.
Did you pull up the pictures, brother?
I'll show them.
Yeah, so that was the countenance of King James. And he tells you in the beginning of the King James Bible, when you read in the beginning, he tells you that he's an Israelite. So not only was he so-called black man, but he was an Israelite because the original Israelites were, the original 12 tribes were so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, but the Jews, all right, the three tribes are the so-called Negroes. Yep.
That's why today you have them those gutter rats, those Khazars in the land of Israel, calling themselves Judah.
Yeah.
And every now and then you'll hear
The
Levi.
Rockies game tonight. Here you
But
go.
my question is, where are the other
like
10
y'all.
tribes? It's not just if Israel was to be delivered into their land, it said all of Israel is going to be delivered. That's all 12 tribes.
Weren't the original Jews Negro?
The word, what does the word Jew go back to? It goes, like I said, it goes back to Judah. So yes, the kingdom of Judah would be the southern kingdom, the so-called Negroes, the so-called Haitians, and the so-called Jamaicans. And those would be the tribes of Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. And yes, we were all originally dark-skinned people, but we had varying shades depending on who you married, depending on which wife you took on, depending on a bunch of things. But that's why we say this is another of the flesh. It's of the spirit. It's of the promise. But it plays out in the flesh.
I know. Awful. You know, he looked like our cousin.
I'll check y'all out, man.
Yeah, you take care, bro. Go ahead, brother. Look it up.
Well, we just said the 400-year doctrine, the 400-year prophecy.
Yeah, what is up, man? What the hell?
Come on, man. I
And then he
just
still
said
wants
shit.
to, and that's the kind of shit that gets me, man, with all these different doctrines. It's like playing a game of whack-a-mole. I'm tired of it, man. We're dealing with this. This is what we brought out, and you either take your whack or get your ass down the street, man.
Just told your ass that the 400-year prophecy was fulfilled when the Israelites came out of Egypt. He said, oh, what about, nigga, we just gave you the goddamn answer.
But that's those strange women. That's exactly they want to go after strange women and say, but look at her, she's different. She's new, but she's got a disease, and she's deaf.
Go ahead, bro.
Say I'm real early.
God, Keith, did you see that? I sure did, Hannah.
I'm gonna recap just a little bit off of 18. This is out of the book, Luke 4:18. To preach deliverance to the captives and recovering of sight to the blind, to set.
Yes, to give sight to the blind, man. Once again, who are the blind? The so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. And that doesn't make us exempt from that, because at one point we were in that blindness. But what happens, man? The Spirit quickens you, man. I used to be the biggest coon, man, walking up and down these streets acting just wicked as hell.
So you know,
And
I was like that too.
and that's how you know, man. This ain't nothing to marvel at. These things that Yahweh Shem Yahushua does, because you took a straight nigga and turned him around
180, a complete 180.
straight 180, man. And now you don't even stand to look at a
And the
two-third,
thing
man.
is, when you come into this truth, man, we'll never say we're perfect, man. Because when we come in, when we make that 180, we still go off a little bit. It ain't straight. You see, and as more,
And then
as
you
more
realize
walk,
how you don't deserve to see, man.
John, and as you go through this truth, man, you'll realize how more and more straight you walk, man.
Right there.
See?
Good claim on all this. Just through the whole net.
And like the brother was saying, man, and this thing is not promised, man. We can wake up tomorrow and have no knowledge, man. You see? That's why we fear the Most High, because at the end of the day, we're not guaranteed to keep this, man. You see? You had plenty of men come in this thing being on fire, man.
Yeah, look at Judas, man.
God.
Judas never expected to be Judas, and he had no damn say in the matter.
He had so much regret when he did it, man. He took the
committed
silver back,
suicide,
man.
man.
And it
He
wasn't
committed suicide.
accepted.
You see, so this thing ain't promised, man. We ain't guaranteed to keep this knowledge. How about Shemel willing? He allows us to keep it and endure to the end. But hey, man, we can wake up tomorrow talking about the goddamn earth flag.
Let me grab this quick 7. This is Acts 1:18. Now this man, talking about Judas, purchased a field with the reward of iniquity, the money that he got paid for selling out Yahweh Shai.
Which was what, like 40 pieces of silver?
Yo, it says, and falling headlong, he burst asunder in the midst of all his bowels gushed out. Whoo, man. So that was the judgment that Judas received, man. And he did that to himself. He did that to himself for the regret. So imagine the regret of the 2/3 in the kingdom, man. Go ahead, man.
To set at liberty them that are bruised, to preach the acceptable year of the Most High.
All right, and what's that acceptable year, man? That's what's coming, man. Jacob's trouble and then the kingdom. All right, the kingdom is that acceptable year, but what has to come before there's peace has to be war, man. There has to be bloodshed in order for there to be peace. The so-called white man ain't just gonna walk up and say, you know what, I know you Israelites, the world belongs to you and to the Most High. There can't be two kings. Here you go. Here's the king, the keys to the planet Earth.
Hey, let me kill myself for you. Let me just slay my own blood.
Esau ain't gonna go out without a fight, man. That's why it tells you in the book of Revelation, even after the fire is put on here, he still ain't gonna repent, man.
He gonna curse the Most High.
In the kingdom.
Hey, what do y'all call? What do y'all call yourself?
Hebrew Israelites.
GMS Denver, if you want to look us up on YouTube.
Yeah, we put all our videos up on YouTube. We usually live stream. But yeah, man, the 12 tribes of Israel. Where's the sign? Grab that behind you, brother. The 12 tribes of Israel consists of the so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American today.
Oh, Latino. Oh, y'all are Latinos. So Latinos are wrapped in there too.
Yeah, that's right, man. We're brothers. We're the same people. Grab me that.
They try to separate
what is that?
us,
Jeremiah
you know what I'm saying? They
15:33.
want us all separate.
Well, they didn't try. They did separate.
And you could understand that each and every one of us suffered the curses that were mentioned within the scripture, man. We went through.
And that separation goes into all of our people trying to escape our judgment. Because after the Assyrian captivity, you have the northern kingdom, known as today, which would be these so-called Latino and Native Americans, escape to the land of America.
Let me read this for you, bro. The scripture is going to explain it.
Time.
This is Jeremiah 50:33. Thus saith Yahweh of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah.
Right, the children of Israel being the northern kingdom, the so-called Latino and the so-called Native American, and the children of Judah being the southern kingdom, the so-called Negro. Go ahead.
were oppressed together.
Right, we were oppressed together, man. I remember growing up, and my father always sowed that enmity with him, you know, and it was always,
Same with my
like, hey,
parents,
man, you know, I ain't your dog, they ain't my brothers, but at the end of the day, I remember telling him as I got older, he had that cross on his neck with this dude on it. I told him, I was like, you want to talk all that stuff about them, man, but who's our enemy? They got the same enemy as us. They got the same history as us. They went through the same oppression as us, man. What did they say? The children of Israel and the children of Judah were what?
Oppressed together.
Oppressed together, man. The so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American are brothers, man. We're one tribe. The tribe of Israel, the tribe of Yasharallah, which means princes of power, man.
Our nation.
Khan, go ahead, man.
And all that took them captives.
Right, all that took them captives, being the Ishmaelites, the Arabs, being the Edomites, the so-called white folks, all right, all these different nations, even Elam, man, the so-called Indians. Go ahead.
And all that took them captives held them fast and refused to let them go.
Right, refused to let them go,
We're
man.
still in captivity, right?
Still in captivity to this day. That's why when you have a child, what do you have to do? You have to sign a birth certificate. And what's that saying? All my debt goes on to this child if I die.
You basically signed your right.
And if I mess up, then you have the rights to take this child from me because it's not mine, it's yours. Go ahead and grab Isaiah 11 and 11. Yeah, you take care, man. Look up that GMS Denver if you got any questions. Yep, just remember games and take the vowels out. It's all right, brother. He's weak. Go ahead,
Maybe it's sold. We'll see. Maybe the word was sold. Give it to him.
But it's gotta take.
He was led to water, it's in the drink.
Con.
That's all we can do, man. That's all we out here to do, man. We ain't out here to force you or coerce you to do shit. We here to tell you what the fuck is gonna happen if you don't. That's it.
It's up to you if you listen or you don't. And it's really up to you how.
This is Luke 4:20. And he closed the book and he gave it again to the minister.
Right. So he got done reading that Isaiah 61, which is straight fire, and close. Hey, man, that's why you so-called Latinos are gonna be put to death, man.
That's right.
Look at them.
Get your
Demons.
fat ass.
Demons.
Go ahead, brother.
Got demons all over them.
Looking like a goddamn penguin.
Hey, but just like that man with that cast himself off into the water, off into the fire, that's the same way. He just jumped like a fool.
Go ahead, Ray.
What's going on?
You about to do the Cupid shuffle to this one. Go ahead.
Going on. And he closed the book and he gave it again to the minister and sat down. And the eyes of all them that were in the synagogue were fastened on him.
Yeah, man, you just got done reading that straight fire out of Isaiah 61 and said, and what does he say next? Go ahead.
And he began to say unto them, this day is the scripture fulfilled in your ears.
That's right, man. This day is this scripture fulfilled in your ears because why? Because Yahushua came on the scene, man. He came to bring us that spiritual resurrection, man, that spiritual liberty, that spiritual freedom, and we're going to receive it in the flesh, man. We're going to receive it physically. The Messiah is coming to cast stones upon you so-called white people, take the planet Earth, and give it to the elect of the so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American. Thus saith the Bible.
That's right.
That's good on that, brother. Go ahead and grab me that Isaiah 61.
That's beautiful.
We
Hey,
know.
it is, man.
We
These
know.
are- These are beautiful words.
I'm glad Esau's starting to come to his senses.
It's just because he's drinking, man.
Con. But like it says, wine is a mocker. He's mocking himself.
Yeah, even this dude ain't even gonna remember scoffing. This Northern Kingdom ass coon.
You gonna remember in that flame?
Oh, you better remember in that.
I'll see. I'll see.
Hey, you claim those already or what,
Yeah,
Doc?
claim
Push that
those.
up on that.
Hey, I threw the claims super far back there, Doc. I
Through the
Isaiah,
Shit.
Isaiah 61:1. The spirit of the Lord power
Better get that hottie ass.
is upon me.
Con, now let's get into what Yahushua was reading, man. All right, go ahead.
The spirit of the Lord, Isaiah 61:1. The spirit of the Lord power is upon me, because the Lord have anointed me to preach good tidings unto the meek.
Right, unto the 12 tribes of Israel, the so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American. Those good tidings unto who?
Unto the meek.
Go ahead.
He have sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim liberty to the captives.
Right, liberty to the captives. Once again, man. to the so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American. Who's filling up these prison houses, man?
Who are the captains, man?
Who doesn't get no liberty on this side? Well, I was just watching a court sentencing because a man went to his hotel with this woman. They got into a fight and they got him for kidnapping, all kind of shit. This dude got sentenced for life in prison. For life in prison, man. And because the judge had no mercy. That's why you so-called white people ain't gonna get no mercy, man.
That's right.
Right. You reap what you sow. Go ahead, brother. Ain't no liberty here, man. Oh, I'm gonna go find a judge, and he's gonna soak you up for all you got and send your bitch ass still to prison, man. That's why we cleave to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, man. That's our judge. That's our mediator, Yahushai. Go ahead,
He have sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim liberty to the captives, and the opening of the prison to them that are bound.
Man, who's in the prisons? So you see how the translation between the Hebrew to the Greek, it kind of got thrown around a little bit. He said the opening of the prison houses to those that are bound, man.
And the thing is, man, you niggas are still captives, man.
Uh-huh.
You was bought up. You were never released, man.
Nope.
You wasn't given the liberty to go back to Israel, man. You niggas are captives, man.
Yeah, see how hard it is to find a job, man, once you get out.
You can't leave this motherfucking country without a passport, man. You
Okay,
are a captive.
I was gonna say, how did Lincoln free the slaves if they're still in America?
Exactly.
If the word employee means slave.
That's how dumb you niggas is, man.
And then he put Edomites in Israel.
Exactly. That's how dumb you niggas. You niggas are not from here, man. You niggas are from the land of Israel. You see?
And ultimately that word fits. Because they're ignorant to this word.
And neither are you Native Americans, for that matter, man.
So
You ain't indigenous to this land, man. You're indigenous to Israel, man.
But we're the originals because you ran from your
I want to say
judgment.
y'all natives, man. Y'all not the fucking natives, man.
And I remember
So-called white man has destroyed this place, man. There ain't nothing here for the Native American. There ain't nothing here for the Latino. There ain't nothing here for the so-called Negro. Go ahead, brother. Slide.
I remember back when I applied for working at the Hilton, and it was when I was I got into cooking a lot. So I applied there, I got hired there. They usually have like this like big old they bring in everybody and they bring in the new people to introduce everybody to them. And the HR came in there and she basically broke that down. She basically on like a real level, she even said, she's like, you guys are now employees here. Now you guys are servants. You guys are here to serve and do what is required.
Well, if I may say real quick, there's a reason why there's an HR department. HR is short for human resource. They tell you what you are. You're a resource. You're not a person once you're under somebody. You're a resource.
Oh yeah.
Something that can be used.
When I heard that